Hansi Flick is experiencing a remarkable first season as Barcelona's head coach. The Blaugrana began their season explosively and, despite almost having their La Liga title ambitions derailed by a rough patch from November to December, have since roared back to the top of the league. They have equally made significant strides in other competitions, having finished second only behind Liverpool in the new Champions League format, advanced to the Copa del Rey semi-finals with 3 consecutive thrashings, and secured Flick's first trophy with an emphatic 5-2 win over Real Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup. If that wasn't impressive enough, Flick's Barca have now scored 114 goals in just 37 games this season, already 4 more than the 110 they scored across all 53 games last season. This impressive turnaround is a testament to Flick's new innovative game plan and tactical adjustments. So what exactly are these changes? Barca's adoption of a high defensive line and the offside trap has become a hallmark of Flick's tactics at the club, posing a significant headache for opponents. Initially, this strategy proved highly effective, resulting in Barca's opponents getting caught offside 77 times in just 11 games. This led to 11 wins out of their first 12 matches, including a triumphant El Clasico victory where they successfully provoked 12 offsides from Real Madrid, with a staggering 8 of those committed by Mbappe alone. However, this effectiveness changed on matchday 13 when Real Sociedad identified a countermeasure. Get one of your midfielders to break free from his marker and run in behind Barca's defense. In doing so, he would pull their backline out of position before finding a teammate with a simple pass, who could finish from a favorable goal-scoring position created by the resulting chaos. Indeed, that countermeasure took its toll on Barca's form, as they accumulated just 6 points from a possible 24, starting with that 1-0 loss to Sociedad, falling from league leaders to 3rd in the table during what would be their worst ever run in La Liga since Ronald Koeman's sacking in 2021. In hindsight, the vulnerability of this high line can be traced to 2 key flaws. Firstly, in a high line combined with a high press, the positioning of the defensive midfielders is crucial for defending against counterattacks. But Marc Casado's tendency to drift away from his centre-backs to play further upfield often forced right-back Jules Koundé to tuck inward and form a compact block, inadvertently leaving opposing wingers unmarked and able to exploit these gaps. Secondly, with Marc-Andre ter Stegen sidelined for the entire season due to injury, backup goalkeepers Iñaki Peña and especially Wojciech Szczesny struggled with their sweeper-keeper responsibilities, failing to deal with passes that breached Barca's high defensive line. However, Flick has since improved his side's pressing game, as seen in how better they are at counter-pressing and winning back possession in the opposition's half. He encourages his fullbacks to push higher up the pitch, ready to press inward if possession is lost in the middle third, while his young and energetic midfielders advance aggressively to cut off central passing lanes to the opposing centre forward. Flick has also asked Robert Lewandowski to drop deeper to mark the opposition's pivot player instead of their centre backs, leaving the aggressive pressing to the younger wingers. As one winger presses, the other shadows the nearest fullback to the pass, which often forces opponents to play it long to the middle third, where Barca have strength in numbers. Still, the approach is a high-risk, high-reward one that requires flawless execution for it to succeed, and it remains to be seen how sustainable it can be considering how thin the squad is in defense. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, subscribe so that you don't miss out on our future videos. Contrary to what many might think, Flick's Barca remain heavily possession-oriented despite their directness. In fact, after 24 La Liga games, they boasted the league's highest average ball possession at 66.5%, well ahead of Real Madrid's 60.7%. As a result, they frequently face compact defensive blocks. So, how do they go about overcoming them? Barca sets up in Flick's favorite 4-2-3-1, diverging from the club's traditional 4-3-3 formation. This setup employs a double pivot, typically featuring Pedri and Casado, who, alongside centre-backs Pau Cubarsí and Inigo Martinez, create a central foursome that combines short passes to facilitate deeper build-up play. The short passing creates time for their fullbacks to advance, with left-back Alejandro Balde often getting forward earlier than right-back Koundé, who tends to support with delayed runs. From here, the foursome can set the tempo before playing incisive passes to their teammates rotating ahead. At the same time, Flick's side have aimed to penetrate behind the opposing backline when space is available. Here, Lewandowski's deeper positioning disrupts the opposing centre-backs, creating a dilemma for them. Should they stay tight to Lewandowski or cover the wide spaces against Rafinha and Yamal? Should the centre-backs leave Lewandowski unmarked, he can receive the ball and combine between the lines to allow for penetrative runs from the wingers. In this context, Pedri's passing range has been particularly influential, allowing Barca to play long and direct when pressed inside their own half and lead the league with the most through balls played after 22 match days. If their midfielders are unavailable to receive and progress the ball, often due to aggressive man marking, their back line is also adept at delivering passes in behind for the wingers to chase or for Lewandowski to connect through flick-ons. Ultimately, this penetrative approach ensures that regardless of the defensive strategies opponents deploy, Barca will always have a potential tactical solution to maintain their offensive threat and control the game. To watch our video on how Hansi Flick has made everyone fear Barca this season, click the first link in the description or the card in the top right corner. Lewandowski joined Barcelona aged 33 and was 36 when Flick took over. Yet, his goal-scoring prowess has shown no sign of declining. He netted 42 goals in 69 La Liga matches before Flick's arrival, and now has 20 in 23 under him. At Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich, Lewandowski excelled as a lone striker, benefiting from fluid wide players who provided crosses and tight combinations. Luckily for him, the current rendition of Barca have both in abundance. Indeed, after 22 La Liga games, Barca led the league with the most key passes and the highest number of passes into the final third. But as well as the excellent service he receives, Lewandowski's prolific campaign has in no small part been down to his clinical touch in front of goal. A team that deploys a high line must be efficient in attack, and based on his current form, Barca have the right man for the job. After 22 match days, he boasted the 6th highest percentage for shots on target in La Liga while taking the 4th most shots. Even at 36, the Pole continues to show remarkable adaptability inside the penalty box, scoring from open play and from the penalty spot, while still making well-timed runs to penetrate defenses. His knack for creating purposeful efforts on goal from minimal touches has always been a standout quality, with most of his goals under Flick coming from first-time finishes and seldom from more than 2 touches. As long as his teammates continue to create chances for him, Lewandowski has proven he can continue to be Barca's main man up front. After more than half of the season gone by, Flick has skillfully navigated the club's financial constraints, achieving impressive results with just 2 signings while harnessing La Masia's pool of rich talent. However, while the team possesses immense potential, fatigue and a lack of squad depth could yet undermine their campaign. Currently, aside from Ferran Torres and Fermin Lopez, there are no other attackers on the bench capable of making significant contributions. This limited depth may lead to fatigue among the starting players and heighten the risk of underperformance, as was the case from November to December. More worryingly, Barca have largely struggled to win matches whenever Yamal has been absent, highlighting their concerningly heavy reliance on a 17-year-old. As the season unfolds, the upcoming weeks will be pivotal in defining Barca's narrative, and their ability to navigate these challenges will ultimately determine whether this season will turn out as a success or failure. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more football news, stories, and insights. Also, don't forget to hit notifications so you never miss a beat. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.